Hi, welcome to Learn Domain. Today we are going to discuss about the importance of underwriters in reference to the medical underwriting prospects as well. As you know, whatever the kind of decisions in order to understand about the risk and all everything in the kind of policies or whatever the issuances happens in insurance, or else even in any kind of decisions to be taken in banking and financials and all, underwriters plays a vital and important role on it. So there are different types of underwriters. First of all, we'd like to understand first. So the type of underwriters starts with investment underwriters, where they'll be focusing more on the investment perspective. At the same time, they'll be having an underwriter called mortgage underwriters, wherein who will be focusing more on the mortgages of the properties or something like. At the same time, medical underwriters, something relating to medical insurance, all that. Next, equity underwriters, where they'll be focusing more on the equity part of the investments, what an individual will make out of it, all that. At the same time, you have life insurance underwriters. As you know, whatever the insurances an individual is opting for in general. So this is all comes under life insurances, because before we are providing in insurance, we are making insurance on behalf of one person. One has to understand about the policies, procedures, standards, risk, all these things. So for that, these underwriters will work in back of it so that approval and rejections will be taken based on it. At the same time, insurance, which normally other insurances like property and casualty insurance, something like marine insurance, general insurance, all that. At the same time, investment banking related, wherein it may be relating to IPOs, an organization may be going for an initial public offer. So that underwriting and all comes under that category. At the same time, M&A process, like mergers and acquisitions, whatever the mergers and acquisitions is taken place. So even for that also, this investment banking underwriters come into picture. At the same time, last but not least, debt security is also something relating to financial services. So this is also one of the underwriter processes. So these are the different types of underwriters, which normally different depends on the kind of domain are we coming from. Different types of underwriters and all everything are these. Now today I'm going to explain about how generally this underwriting process in reference to the medical part. So is it something relating to the objectives I am discussing here? The major objectives under this medical underwriting process is to define the process efficiency, because process efficiency and efficiency in the process of understanding about the kind of structure what is that we follow is essentially important. At the same time, better data and lower risk. Whatever the data are we going to acquire, the data must be safe and secure. At the same time, reduce the operational cost, because providing a understanding as well as assessing the proper underwriting process in reference to the medical fees, all this stuff itself is concerned. So that based upon the assessment and as well as the analysis we have made in terms of the risk, through that we can reduce the operational cost. At the same time, we can reduce the errors as well. Followed by this, we can focus more on the high skills resources, whatever is required for us to implement. Through that, by keeping all these into an account, we can improve the customer satisfaction as well. So these are the major objectives which are there in reference to the medical underwriting itself is concerned. Now, when we talking about in context to the objectives and all, when we talk about the group insurances and all, so automated proposals come into picture, whatever the proposals to be made automated. Next, group underwriting. So certainly it is targeting for the group of people where we are performing the underwriting process. As at the same time, census enrollments, whatever the census enrollments and all everything will be aware to that, because this is something optional, which is not something mandatory under the underwriting process, but some stages and all some census enrollments and all everything are required. Next, electronic remittances followed by renewal ratings, all that. So this is all comes under the group insurance point of view. When we talk about the common points itself is concerned, wherein dynamic questionnaires can be prepared. So wherein to understand about the actual essence of this medical underwriting process. At the same time, IGO and NIGO processing, followed by this managing of requirements. This is where generally business analyst team will play a vital and important role in understanding the requirements of the team. So how the requirements to be managed, all these things comes under requirements management. So followed by requirements management, the next is automated reinstatements, followed by auto adjudication process when and wherever it is needed. When we talk about individual insurances and all, it is something relating to automation quotes. If someone is providing any kind of quotes required and all everything, automated quotes can be provided even. Even automated underwriting process comes under the medical part. Followed by this, whatever the auto renewals do we do, apart from that recurring payments, policy terminations and all that. So apart from the underwriting process, whatever the objectives we have focused more on. So what are something which are connecting to underwriting and which are add on those points I have discussed here, which is something relating to, because what drives you to prepare this underwriting process and how do we understand in reference to the requirement management, automated reinstatements, at the same time remittances, renewal ratings, all these things comes under the additional part of the medical underwriting process, whatever I have discussed with you so far, because these are the add-ons, which is not something directly connecting with the medical underwriting process. Now, if I am explaining about the underwriting process and all, these are the 4 different aspects are there. Where the first stage itself, where we have to take some customer information, where we need to understand about reasons for underwriting, followed by the kind of application details, whatever is required here. Next, we need to assess the existing coverage, followed by the kind of risk as well as the assessment, all that. At the same time, we need to understand and as well as identify the previous underwriting history, if there is any, in reference to the customer information. From there onwards, underwriting requirements come into the picture. So when we are talking about underwriting requirements, wherein there are 2 different type of requirements will be there in this underwriting requirements. One is routine requirements and second is non-routine requirements. Routine requirements which are standard on its size, wherein non-routine requirements which are exceptional, depends on the kind of case to case, it will vary. At the same time, this can also be integrated with labs integrations and MIBS and all that. From there onwards, in the third stage, we will be taking opinion from the medical experts, whoever is having experience on the medical these things, all that. At the same time, opinion from the senior underwriters and all expert opinions will be taken on the third stage. So followed by this, underwriting decisions will be taken. These decisions may be of anything. Either it could be acceptance, either it could be decline or revises and all everything. So that underwriting decisions can be taken here. Followed by this, whatever the tentative offers for customer acceptance and so on, all everything will be sent to the respective words. So this is what generally an underwriting process which usually follows. So this is nothing more specific about medical, I can say. Even in non-IT, non-medical also, the underwriting process remains standard constant, but the kind of terminologies as well as the approaches, the kind of standards, policies and procedures may vary from process to process, but the overall high-level understanding about the process of underwriting, which is something essentially important, and it remains the same. But the focus, as an example I have taken, is reference to the medical underwriting process. So this is all for this video. If you have any questions and any kind of training requirements, all that stuff in reference to either from the insurance point of view or from medical underwriting or from this insurance domain perspective, all that, please reach out to the contact details, which will be posted in below to this video. Thank you.